When a claim gets rejected, it often leads to conflict. And if it's an iffy claim, in other words, maybe another insurer would have actually covered that, and this insurer is not covering it, the owner of the scheme or the owner that's been affected will be well within their rights to say, let me see the record of advice. I want to see how you dealt with this insurance in the first place. And owners often do. And it's just one good example of why it's good practice to get a record of advice in place. In other words, for the body corporate to make sure that the product that you have is the correct product based on a proper advice process. Okay, let me give you an example. So what happened to me as a broker, and it was a positive outcome, was I once went to visit a scheme in Cape Town, and I'm going back a good between 15 and 20 years ago, because I remember I still had a file under my arm. We don't use files anymore, it's all electronic. But I had a file under my arm because I was going to see an iffy claim. What had happened here, there were leaking pipes in a bathroom, and this owner was trying to locate the leak, chopping, basically going to have to renovate his bathroom because of the leaks. And when I got there, and he is quite rightfully and very professionally, he said to me, my broker said to me that had this cover been with, I'm not going to name the insurance company, ABC Insurance Company, I would have had 5,000 Rand money, part of my claim, to locate the leak. Now, he was quite right, because there was one insurance company at the time. Shortly, they took that off the product, by the way. But at that time, that policy did have 5,000 Rand for leaking pipes. And I was luckily able to show him, not luckily, because this is what we do. I showed him a file. I said, look, on this file, we annually go to all of the insurance companies to make sure that you've got the best product. And the company that here has actually would have given you 5,000 Rand cover declined to provide insurance for the year. We went to that insurance company. We went to this company and this company and this company, and only this company were prepared to do insurance for this building because of this leak problem, fully disclosed. Okay, so just understand that, unfortunately, you don't have cover for it, because actually you've got cover, though, for a certain amount of this loss. Thank goodness that one insurance company would at least cover you. And he was very grateful. He said, no, thank you very much. I fully understand this, very professional, and I'm so glad that you do your job properly. So that is the conversation, positively, what comes out of records of advice. Okay, now, the minute a claim is rejected, and, I'm an owner in a few different body corporate schemes. My business has got an office park in a scheme. I stay in a sectional title environment, and I have investment in a sectional title environment. So I'm the guy that's going to go and ask these questions myself, and if there's a claim. And, if I think, this is a funny insurance company, I'm going to say, you know what? Can I have a look at the record of advice when this policy renewed? That's what I'm going to ask. Okay. And I am strongly recommending that the managing agent ensure that that record of advice is provided. It's a requirement in terms of FAIS, in terms of the General Code of Conduct. Okay. For FAIS, for brokers have to give you a record of advice with certain criteria. And you, as a managing agent, need to make sure that it comes. Okay, it's law, okay, or it's statutory, so it needs to happen. And if I'm an owner or a trustee in a scheme and that hasn't happened and there's a loss, I'm going to come to you. Okay, so what needs to be there in a nutshell? So I'm going to put it up here. This is the paragraph in pertaining to the record of advice in the Code of Conduct. So you can see it. It's going to run across the screen. Okay, and in a nutshell, provider must maintain a record of the advice furnished to a client, which record must reflect the basis on which the advice was given. And in particular, there's A, B, and C. And what it actually says there, that they must give a brief summary, um, and based on the information. That's quite easy. We set that out in our letters, but you can interpret that. So we interpret it as the main basis on which the insurance is based, and the advice must be on the Act and the rules and the regulations that actually set out what insurance must be in place. The financial products that were selected in my example, you need to say this. We've got these three quotes. This one is perhaps a little bit more. It's about 200 Rand a month more expensive, but it's going to add a lot of value to your need. You do have a lot of leaking pipes, and this coverage seems to be wider in that regard. So we're going to suggest you go here. If you've got retaining walls and you don't have all your plans handy, I might be inclined to go to this insurer, and so on. Then you also need to explain and recommend which product needs to be taken, and you need to set that out. And then lastly, the record of advice must be in writing. So it also states it's got to be in writing. So I think that's a very, very good idea. I think set it out. It's very simple and easy. If you interpret that nicely, each broker can set out their own format. If you go and watch our other videos, there's one here on the record of advice. You can see how we set ours out. It's no secret. We're not hiding it. Other brokers are welcome to follow our format because it's set out. We've just interpreted it that way, and more professional. So number one, brokers do it. Number two, managing agents see to it that it's done. Don't work with brokers that just don't do it. Rather change to another broker. I'm not saying Addsure only. There are other good brokers out there who do things properly. Let's bring up and make sure that the standard of sectional title is 100%. Okay, so please like this video, share it, and of course, subscribe to this channel if you haven't done so already. See you again.